the heat on the East Coast and took 2 out of 3 from both the Braves and the Phillies. Their inspired play back east kept the Giants on top of the West. Now they return home to a sold-out AT&T Park to take on the division rival San Diego Padres. Game 1 next. Welcome to 24 Willie Mays Plaza on the shores of McCovey Cove, the beautiful downtown home of the Giants. AT&T Park, the start of a homestand. It's the Giants and the Padres. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to San Francisco Giants baseball. The Giants come home in first place after a long stretch of road games on the East Coast, 2 different East Coast trips, just 3 home games in between, and yet they survived it. They had a winning record during it, and now they're facing a Padre ball club that's vastly improved from the Padres we saw earlier this year. Ryan Vogelsong, though, on the hill, and that's a pretty good security blanket.
It really has been. He's been the model of consistency all year long. Every start he's had this year, he's taken it in the 7th inning, and all but 4 of those starts, he's taken it into the 8th inning. So with consistency like that, you come to the ballpark the day that he pitches, you think you're going to win that day. The last 4 outings he's had here in San Francisco, he's 4-0, ERA 1.2, and that's the type of anchor you love to have.
Now, the Giants had some hot hitting on that road trip. Not everybody was hot. There were noticeable slumps as well, but Buster Posey, Melky Cabrera, red hot right now.
Well, and they really are one of the best 1-2 punches in the game right now. Buster Posey, the last 10 games, hitting at a very cool 478, and it's been a loud 478. And Melky Cabrera, 386 in the last 9 games. So you have that type of consistency in the middle of your lineup, you're going to score some runs. And like the Giants pitching has always said, we don't need a whole lot. Just give us a few, and we'll get it done. And that's kind of been the formula.
So the Giants also with a couple of other little changes in the order we'll tell you about as we get to the game. The Giants and the Padres coming up. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update as our Xfinity pregame show continues right after this. Only Xfinity On Demand has what you demand. Watch the latest shows and movies anytime and anywhere with Xfinity On Demand.
A beautiful day in San Francisco, a beautiful day at AT&T Park, and a beautiful day to be home. And that's where the Giants are going to be for the next 10 games. Dave Feldman, Bip Roberts, welcome to our Comcast Sportsnet Central studios. The Giants are hot right now, Bip. They were hot on the road. They've been historically hot at home. How do they keep this going?
Well, yeah, they were 4-2 on the road, but they have to continue to swing the bats with runners in scoring position. They hit 262 on the road, but now that you come home, you're going to have to continue to hit with guys in scoring position because situational hitting is a big part in winning ball games.
So it's staying focused. You played. You know you got to take one game at a time. You got to look what's right in front of you, not what's down the road. What's right in front of them is the Padres, your old team for 6 years. What's down the road is their arch rival, the Dodgers, and a team only a game and a half back. How do you not overlook the Padres?
Within itself, they love to play against the Giants. They're 7-3 in their last 10 ball games. I mean, you think about it. Clayton Richards is 5-3, and he's got a 2.9, and then the bullpen average right now is 159 against with 39 strikeouts over the last 12. So they're going to be tough as far as pitching is concerned. Yeah,
and the Padres used to be in last place. They're not anymore. They're hot. They used to be in last, so they're dangerous. They're a dangerous team.
Yeah, they're going to be very dangerous.
All right. Join Bip Roberts and I after the game, immediately following on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. But until then, right now, let's go back to AT&T Park. Enjoy.
Xfinity On Demand has what you demand. Watch the latest shows and movies anytime and anywhere with Xfinity On Demand. We are still just a few minutes away from getting started. The Giants and the Padres at the beginning of this 10-game homestand for the Giants. Vogelsong tonight against Clayton Richard of the Pods.
All right, what do you say we take a look at our roundtable key ingredients for the game? They're brought to you by Roundtable Pizza. Try our artisan flatbread pizzas. Choose from pepperoni artisan, roasted veggie and chicken, or tomato pesto. Full size just $12. Individual size only $6. Order online at roundtablepizza.com. Number one, keep cooking at home. That's right. The Giants have been playing great ball here at this ballpark. Their home record coming into tonight's ball game, 29-16. It's the best in the National League West. And Vogelsong, he's been hot, way hot. His last 4 outings here, 4-0, 1.2 ERA, stay hot. And Posey and Cabrera, they have been on fire as well. The heart of the Giants lineup, Posey hitting .517 the last 7 games with 11 ribeyes, and Cabrera in a 9-game hit streak hitting .378 during that time. And those are your round table key ingredients.
Vogelsong getting warmed up in the Giants bullpen. Coming up, we'll have the lineups for the Giants and the Padres, and then the ball game after this. Last the Giants saw them, and they are playing well right now. Toyota, do the math, searching for answers to rising gas prices. Factor in the 5 Toyotas that get over 40 miles per gallon, and the answer is Toyota. Do the math. And not only are the Padres doing well, the Giants 7-2 since the All-Star break, hitting .268, 5th best in the league. A lot of extra base hits since the All-Star break, 3rd most in the league, and the 2nd highest runs per game average in that time. And the earned run average also sensational, a league best 2.04. And Mike, those Giants pitchers have been tough to hit, allowing a batting average against of only 166 since the break.
Well, and they're kind of feeding off each other. I mean, the confidence goes from the first guy all the way to the 12th guy in the rotation. The Giants starting rotation has 5 guys who are all throwing well right now, and I don't know if there's another organization in Major League Baseball that can boast that. It's just, they've all come together at the right time. Dave Urquetti has done an exceptional job with them, as has Mark Gardner, and this Giants pitching staff is the reason why this team is in first place.
Madison Bumgarner looking on from the dugout. He'll be going here tomorrow night against Edinson Volquez. And the Giants take the field. Here comes Vogelsong out to the mound. So as the Giants head out, let's take a look at the Padres batting order. It will be Alexi Amarista, center field. Logan Forsythe, second base. Chase Headley, third base. A lot of rumors that he's about to be traded. He's got 11 home runs this year, just 1 behind his career record. Mark Kotsay, the veteran cleanup hitter in left field. Yasmani Grandal, acquired from the Cincinnati Reds in the Matt Latos trade, is the catcher, and he's been doing well. Yonder Alonso, also acquired in that trade. He's been with the club all year, hitting .264. First base. Will Venable in right field, hitting 7th. Everett Cabrera, the man who very famously stole home to help beat the Dodgers. It wasn't that long ago either. One of the most daring plays we've ever seen. He's hitting 8th, and Clayton Richard is the pitcher, batting 9th against Vogelsong.
Ryan Vogelsong on the hill, the 34-year-old writer. Actually, he just turned 35, July 22nd. So he's now a 35-year-old, but he's also a guy who's in his 6th year at the big league level. This is what he's done in 17 starts. 7-4 with a 2.31 ERA. He has been the model of consistency. 84 strikeouts against 37 walks. 93 hits, 116 and 2/3 innings. He's been fantastic. He has gone into the 7th inning in every one of his starts. He has gone into the 8th inning in all but 4 of those starts. And that is the kind of consistency you want as a starting pitcher. He is an innings eater. Oh, there is irony to this. He has never done well against the Padres. 0-2 lifetime with an ERA of 9.28. That does not compute. So tonight he's going to try and do something about that as he tries to get the Giants started on this homestand. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Ryan Vogelsong. Starting the Giants outfield from left to right, it'll be Cabrera, Pagan, and Scherholz with exceptional arms on both corners. Cabrera and Scherholz. Crawford and Arias on the left side of the infield. Ontario and Sandoval, who will be making his first start at first base this season. That's your right side of the infield. Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs. There's the Panda. Looks very comfortable.
So Brandon Belt out of the lineup. Bruce Bochy said that he wants Belt to have a chance to clear his mind and work on the side in the cage in batting practice on getting his swing back. First pitch of the night is a fastball for a strike to Alexi Amarista, 23-year-old from Barcelona, Venezuela. Cool night here at the ballpark. 60 degrees the game time temperature. There is Ryan Terrio. And one away. Amarista kept off the base pass. He's a little guy, sort of in the mold of Houston's Jose Altuve, 5 feet 7 inches tall. Came in hitting .290, which is also sort of in the Altuve mold. But Amarista is gone, and here is Logan Forsythe. .282, 2 homers, 11 batted in, and he has done well against the Giants. One of those home runs against the Giants, and he's had 4 hits and 9 at bats against them. And that is a ball just barely off the outside. I think that shocked Buster Posey.
Well, it definitely shocked Ryan Vogelsong. Doug Eddings is a pretty good umpire if you're a pitcher. He's a low ball guy with a pretty big zone and a very good breaking ball umpire.
Along the right field line toward the corner, Scherholz angling back, and that is a foul ball. We will not have a problem finding out a fair or foul along that right field line or first base line. The first base umpire tonight, Jordan Baker, is 6 feet 7 inches tall, so very visible from anywhere in the ballpark. Young umpire, and Eddie Montague, the former longtime umpire, now an umpire supervisor, he made a point of coming up here and telling us about Jordan Baker, what an outstanding young umpire he is. Fastball away, and it's 2-1.
I bet he's a high ball guy. I'm just throwing it out there early. You get umpires that tall, very seldom are they low ball umpires. But hey, could be wrong. Lee Wire was 6'5", 6'6". He was a low ball guy.
Pulled that one off the outside. 3-1. Lee Wire, a great longtime National League umpire. But no longer do we have National League umpires, American League umpires. They're all blended now together. And you don't see an umpire as often as you used to when all the umpires stayed in their own leagues.
And all the umpires who've retired who were the National League umpires, they don't like that. Eddie Montague, Jim Quick, Paul Runge, John Kibler, all these guys that were in the National League, they didn't like it when it expanded.
Struck him out. He was down 3-1, but came back to get him.
I always notice Vogelsong establishing that fastball the first time through the lineup. And he's a guy who really, like Matt Cain, understands the fastball and the importance of of establishing with it. The way you establish a fastball in a hitter's mind is you have to throw a strike on both sides of the plate, inside and outside. You have to throw a strike, and then all of a sudden he can't sit on you. He has to guess with you.
Here's Chase Headley, and he takes low and inside for ball one. Headley, 268 average, 11 homers, 50 driven in, a 361 on base percentage. And Headley, right now, although he's been hitting the ball well, Padres are happy about it. His name is mostly associated with various trade rumors. A lot of people think that Headley is about to be traded in the next week or so. The trading deadline 1 week from tomorrow, 8 days away. 2-0 the count. And that's out of play off the third base side. Well back into the lower deck. 2-1.
Well, he's the kind of guy that a lot of teams are looking for. He does a lot of things to help you win. He's a baseball player. And he's one of those hitters that the bigger the at-bat, the better at-bat he gives you. He's got power.
A lot of people feel that if he got into more of a hitter's ballpark, that his numbers would go way up. Change up, down and away. And now it's 3-1 to Chase Headley, as Petco Park is not very favorable to the hitters, to say the least.
Well, I think if you get into a ballpark like Philadelphia, I mean, you can figure on him for 20, 25 home runs a year, maybe more.
It's a walk. So Headley becomes the first base runner of the game. And now Mark Kotsay will come up. Padres have 3 switch hitters in the lineup. And with that, they end up with 8 left-handed batters facing Vogelsong. This is that last foul ball.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you think he already knew her? Or is she just excited that he is the guy who caught the foul ball?
It's the power of the foul ball. He had no idea who she was. Now, friends for life.
Mark Kotsay. And it's called strike with a curveball. Kotsay, 289 with a home run and 7 driven in. Been mostly a pinch hitter and a role player for the Padres. And he's another guy I suppose could get traded to a team that needs some bench help. He can play all over the outfield, can play first base.
Well, and he's great in the clubhouse too. Just a real strong presence, leader. Been through a lot of Septembers and Octobers. Absolutely the kind of guy you're looking for this time of year to help your team.
36 years old. And he'll make a pitcher work. Have a very discerning idea of the strike zone. And the count is a ball and a strike to Kotsay. Kotsay's got a 359 on base average this year.
He's a good middle in hitter too. If you miss down and into him, he is unforgiving. Very quick bat to the middle in part of the plate, strike zone.
Two and one, and suddenly Vogelsong had started with Forsythe. He fell behind him 3-1, came back and struck him out, but then walked Headley. Now he's 2-1 to Kotsay with Grandal on deck.
Looking for his rhythm. Pretty common to see a big pitcher struggle with his rhythm in the first inning.
And it's 3-1. He's also doing something, Mike, that he's never had to do before at any time in his career, which is pitch as a 35-year-old. So there we go.
Yeah, just turned 35 yesterday. It's all new to him. Completely different than 34, let me tell you.
Along the left field line, there is the milkman. And just like that, Kotsay retired. The Giants are coming up. Melky due up third. The Padres nothing. The Giants coming up. The Giants batting order now brought to you by your Northern California Honda dealers at shophonda.com. Nate Scherholtz, 2 homers yesterday, right field. Ryan Theriot, second base. Melky Cabrera, 356 batting average, left field. Buster Posey, red hot. The catcher hitting cleanup. Pablo Sandoval at first, trying to get his stroke going again. Angel Pagan, center field. Joaquin Arias, third base. Brandon Crawford, shortstop, and Ryan Vogelsong, the pitcher. Batting ninth against the Padre left-hander and a very tall left-hander, Clayton Richard.
Tall indeed, 6'5", 245. He's a big fella in his 4th year at the big league level, 28 years of age. And this is what he has done in 20 starts, 7-10 with a 3.86 ERA. You look at his throwing angle, very similar arm slot to that of Madison Bumgarner. It's a low 3/4 release, and his fastball will go in the low to mid-90s. He get a lot of ground balls. I mean, he gets sink off that low 3/4 release. He's got a good hard slider. It's his best breaking ball, and he's got a changeup. He'll throw it any time.
This is Alonso. Richard covering. One away.
Let's take a look at the Padres defensively tonight, playing behind Clayton Richard. Starting off in the outfield. From left to right, it'll be Kotze, who has an outstanding arm. Amarista and Venable with an outstanding arm. 2 good arms in that outfield. Cabrera and Headley on the left side. Forsythe and Alonso on the right side. And Grandal will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Ryan Theriot, 272 average. No homers, 20 driven in. No score in the game. And a called strike. Big trades made today. A very high-profile trade involving the Yankees and the Mariners. And I think nobody really saw this one coming. Ichiro, who had never played with anybody but the Mariners, traded to the Yankees. Down the right field line. Venable giving chase. Theriot digging for second, and he'll make it standing up, a double. Theriot's 11th double of the year. Well, this is the trade. Ichiro broke into the big leagues out of the Japanese leagues in 2001. 10 times an All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves, and 2,533 hits, all as a Mariner. 322 career average, but only 261 this year. The Mariners got a couple of rookie minor league pitchers in exchange for Ichiro, and the Mariners are playing the Yankees tonight. So Ichiro just got his shoes and his glove and walked down the hall. And there's a Yankee now. Melky behind second. This is going to be tough. Not in time. Forsythe was a big bouncer, so he could not get to it all that quickly. And then the hurried throw was just too late with Theriot going to third.
Well, check out the stretch from Alonso. That's a very close play. It could have been called either way. Out the crack of the bat, that's a pretty good stretch there. I thought from up here that he didn't have that type of stretch, but in fact he did. He did everything he could to try and get that ball quicker. Bang, bang. That's a tie play. That could have gone either way. Giants catch a break.
And the ball's got to be there in the glove before the runner hits the bag.
Ooh, they may have gotten him.
I don't think so. I think this umpire was just right.
Jordan Baker, the new guy?
Yeah.
He's really good.
Besides, that first time we froze it, it's in the glove, but it's not in the webbing of the glove. It's got to hit that webbing and to be securely in the glove.
Well, it's got to make a noise. That's what they go on. They look at the bag and listen.
And I think the spot where he froze it the second time, that's when it made the noise, and Melky's foot was squarely on the bag.
Good changeup right there from Richard. I've been seeing Buster Posey fooled a whole lot, or swinging through a whole lot of pitches during this hot streak. And he's on fire right now.
But behind here, 0-2. Infield double play depth. A nice save there by Grandal, the young catcher. Grandal, only 23 years old, from Havana, Cuba. Part of the trade with the Cincinnati Reds that sent Matt Latos to the Reds. And that was a big trade. The Reds gave the Padres many of their absolutely top prospects. Terrio at third, Cabrera at first, and Cabrera back to the bag. Yonder Alonso, the other hitting prospect, and a very good one, acquired from the Reds in that Latos trade. Second baseman Forsythe pulled over toward the middle and pulled in a bit. Double play depth. That is into the hole and through the hole. Base hit. Terrio scores. The Giants have a 1-0 lead.
And how many times have you seen Buster Posey come up with a money hit and a 2-strike count? It's happening with a lot of consistency. And this hit here is a hit you get when you're hot. Left it out over the plate, but still a knee-high pitch. Gets it on the ground. And as we mentioned with Richard, you're going to see a lot of ground balls just past the outstretched arm of Ever Cabrera.
And not surprising to see Buster get a hit against a left-hander. He now has a cool .400 batting average against lefties for the season. Buster, who came into the game hitting .322 with men in scoring position. Here now, Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval is struggling. Only a couple of RBIs since the All-Star break. And what makes it even more galling for Pablo, he had 3 RBIs in the All-Star game in his first at bat. And another nice save.
Sandoval knows Richard. He got a fastball up above the belt, middle in back in April, and yanked it for a home run.
One ball, 1 strike to Pablo. Jets are anxious to get Pablo going again.
By the way, that home run that he hit back in April off of Richards is the only home run he's hit right-handed all year.
That homer gave the Giants a 2-0 lead in that game. They won it 4-1 back at Bumgarner. One to nothing Giants here. Cabrera at second, Posey at first. Down the right field line, foul. And off the brakes. Near that Virgin America party suite.
Oh yeah, they got their unis on, game face on. There's the party suite. I don't think you can squeeze one more guy in there. I think they're maxed out.
Sort of an average night down there, I think.
It's a good place to be.
That is foul. So Pablo continues to battle it out with Clayton Richard. Pablo hitting .300 lifetime against him with that home run that he hit in April, plus a couple of doubles. Did you see the look on that kid's face when he got handed that baseball?
That's the look you're looking for if you're a ball dude.
Pablo fights that one on.
All right. How could you turn that face down? Can't. You know what? If I'm the ball dude, every ball I get tonight, I'm giving it to him. He could walk out of here with 15 balls.
Yeah. And she's very pleased for him, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She just hooted on the ball dude. There's our ball dude tonight. That's Don Stallhot.
Again, Richard to Pablo Sandoval. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Right past third and just foul. Into DeMuth, veteran umpire, right on top of the foul line there, made the call.
That's not an easy thing to get it past Headley at third base. Phew, that was close.
And it's not where it is when it bounces after it passes the bag. It's where it is in relation to the bag as it is passing by the bag. If it's over any part of the bag, no matter where it bounces next, that would be a fair ball. Cabrera at second, Posey at first. Another one in the dirt. Grandal's already been a busy man in just this first inning alone. That's 4 or 5 blocks he's had.
Yeah, 4 or 5 tests, and he's passed them all.
All right, what about now, Mike? If you're managing, you got a lot of speed at second. Melky Cabrera, Posey, not so much.
Well, and he's a ground ball guy. I'm sending him.
Here's the stretch. There they go. It's ball 4. The bases are loaded. That's the run and a hit where Pablo only is obliged to swing if it's a strike.
Now, you talked about the size of Clayton Richard. He's 6'5" and 235. He's a big fella. And Aaron Balsley, the pitching coach, is going to come out and talk to him a little bit. He, like a lot of big pitchers, tall pitchers, they take a while to get it going, and they are susceptible to an inning going against them early in the game, and it's happening right here. This is when you really take advantage of him. See what he's done this year against the Giants. They've been hard on him. 8 earnings and 12 2/3. But right now is an opportunity.
And the Giants have a hitter coming up who's another guy that they'd like to get going again. He was hot for a long while, but it has been quite a while since he was hot. Angel Pagan comes up hitting .281, 5 homers, 34 driven in. Only 2 hits in his last 15 at bats. Switch hitter batting right-handed. Just off the outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a pitch you're looking for help for when you're struggling in an inning. You got bases loaded, no place to put a guy. You throw a corner pitch out there, you want to get that call, and Richard did not get it.
Terrio at third, Cabrera at third, Posey at second, Sandoval at first. Well off the outside there, 2-0. Giants, Terrio already has scored a run in this inning for the Giants. He started this whole deal with a double. He's back in the dugout having scored. Ryan Vogelsong now with a 1-0 lead as the Giants try to give him more support.
See the look in his face. He's already pitching that second inning.
(3-0).
Easy take there. Easy call for the umpire.
Joaquin Arias is on deck.
Clayton Richard has not done well with the bases loaded throughout his career. In these situations, opponents hit .475 against him.
That's it there for a strike. 3-1 now. Pagan versus Richard. And Pagan hitting .370 in his career with the bases loaded.
So I say this is a match made in heaven.
One guy has done well in this scenario. The other has done very poorly. Advantage Pagan. Out of play.
Pretty good pitch there on the 3-1 count. I mean, that was 91-mile-an-hour fastball was sinking the outside corner, working away from Pagan. Can't do much better than that.
Padre infield looking for the double play ball. The second baseman Forsythe pulled over toward the middle. 3-2. Back to the screen. Forsythe has thrown 26 pitches already in this inning. Only 1 out. Clayton Richard. Logan Forsythe's the second baseman. He's the one looking for the double play ball. Pulled over toward the middle. Richard with his 27th pitch of the inning. And that is a foul out of play. So he's having another long battle here. After a very long one with Pablo Sandoval. Eventually he walked Pablo to load the bases. Cabrera at third. Posey at second. And Pablo over at first.
There you see the defense pretty straight away. They give the right field line. Pretty standard here at this ballpark.
He walked in a run. And he missed badly with that one. So Cabrera forced home. He scores the second run of the inning. Buddy Black, the Padre manager, not looking too pleased right now.
Yeah, you can't defend against a walk, and that really frustrates managers. And I think it's especially frustrating when you're on the road. I mean, he needs to get some innings out of Richard. I mean, it's a disaster for a manager in this era to have to get into that bullpen in the first 3 innings of a game.
Now Joaquin Arias with the bases loaded, 1 out. Ball 1. Arias is hitting .250 as the Padres are going to get the bullpen going right now. A left-hander heads down. That's Eric Stoltz. Arias is hitting .298 against left-handed pitching. That's a double play ball and bobbled. They get the out there, but that brings a run home, and I think Pablo got right in front of the shortstop Cabrera and then jumped over the ball and might have screened Cabrera off from that ball just long enough to cause the muff and take away the double play.
I think that's exactly what happened. Watch Sandoval. He kind of stays there and lets it go between his legs, and it kind of handcuffs Cabrera, who's a very sure-handed shortstop. So it may have been an instant there where he didn't see the ball, and that instance made a difference. He got jammed, right, hit him right there low in the glove.
So Pagan forced out at second. Arias gets credit for a run batted in as Posey scores. And now the 8th hitter of the inning, Brandon Crawford, takes a strike. The Sandoval down to third, and Arias safe at first. Arias, who hits a lot of double play balls, hit one there, but with a little assist from Pablo, the Padres don't get the double play. And it's 0-2.
Crawford not happy with that last strike. He thought it was low.
3-0 Giants here in the first. Ordinarily, Crawford and Arias have gone into a platoon against left-handers. Arias would be at short, but Belt is out tonight. And that's into left field. Caught. Kotze caught that one. And some of the fans think that it bounced into his glove.
I'm not so sure he did catch it.
And Tim Flannery is also out arguing with Dana DeMuth, saying that that ball bounced. Here comes Bruce Bochy. The Giants with 3 as we go to the second. Umpire Dana DeMuth, after we went to commercial, the umpires decided to meet, and at least one of the other umpires was completely sure that the ball had bounced into the glove of Mark Kotze, and the umpires then said, okay, it's a hit then.
Well, the umpires get it right. It clearly bounces before it gets to the glove of Kotze, who comes up and he gets the deke there, but it short hopped him. Hits the ground. That's a base hit. Dana DeMuth, the crew chief, called it a catch. And then Bruce Bochy went back and asked Dana DeMuth, would you please round up the umpires and double check? They did, and they overruled it. And Dana DeMuth says it was a hit. The run scores. The inning continues. And Crawford credited with a base hit and RBI. And
It was great. Buddy Black was out there talking with Dana DeMuth, and he was arguing. And Dana says, "What are you yelling at me for? I tried to help you out. I called it a catch." And that kind of killed the argument.
So here is Ryan Vogelsong, and it's back to the screen. Strike one. Now, Bruce Bochy, I'm sure, requested that the umpires meet. The umpires are not required to meet just because a manager asks them to. Generally, the crew will, if somebody is completely sure that the call was gotten wrong, he'll give a signal to the umpire that made the call. And each crew has their own little signals with each other. So DeMuth apparently got a signal from one of the other guys. I'm guessing Nauert, the second base umpire, but that's just a guess. So they met, and Nauert, or whoever it was that saw it differently, made his case, and then the umpires could then decide to overturn it or uphold the original call. But in this case, whichever other umpire thought that he saw the play better prevailed. So, and as our replay showed, he got the call right.
And it's a big play. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's a base hit for Crawford, another run on the board for the Giants, but it allows Ryan Vogelsong to hit this inning. You're getting more pitches out of Clayton Richard.
And strike three. So, again, the first inning is over. Now the Giants lead 4-0. Jerry Garcia's 70th birthday celebration, presented by McAfee. A special event ticket package includes your ticket to the game versus the Mets and a special birthday edition bobblehead of Jerry Garcia. Ticket proceeds will benefit the Rex Foundation. sfgiants.com/special events. That's Wednesday, August the 1st.
Another look at the trap. Not a catch by Mark Kotze. But, I mean, that's a veteran right there trying to take advantage of an umpire.
This is after the actual third out.
Well, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I guess. It's an old saying in baseball.
He was looking over the Giants' dugout when he gave that little
yes, he was.
Wry smile. I didn't realize. I thought I caught it.
Gee, unbeknownst to me.
Just as surprised as you guys. The curveball for a swinging strike to Yasmani Grandal. The Cuban emigre from Havana, 23 years old. Padres think he's going to be their catcher for a long time to come. Change up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And they like the adjustments that he's made. When he first got to the big leagues, they were taking him out of the strike zone above the zone. He could not lay out that high pitch, but he has made adjustments. He's much more selective, much more disciplined to the zone now. And those are the things you look for in a young hitter. When he gets to the big league level, what type of adjustments he makes once teams figure out a way to get him out. Can you adjust off the adjustments? And how quickly you do that can determine how well you do up here.
Ooh. Away from the target, but right around the inside part of the plate, but called the ball. 3-1. 4-0 Giants. Vogelsong's thrown a lot of pitches early on here. This is the 4th straight hitter to which he's had a 3-ball count. And that's a base hit along the line. Hustling over to hold Grandal to a single is Melky Cabrera. He threw a line drive into Ryan Theriot at second base, and he's got a smile at Theriot. Because Theriot had to block that in between hop on a very hard throw with his body.
It caught him in a bad spot, and that's what put the smile on Melky Cabrera's face. Ryan Theriot has been such an incredible add to this club. He is so good in the clubhouse. Been great in the field too.
Yonder Alonso. Ball 1. Here's that throw, Mike.
See how he blocks this? Ouch. That'll hurt. It'll take a smile off your face.
And the little backdoor cutter for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hey, the Giants just left Philadelphia. Got a first-hand look at the Phillies, who've got just about all their regular lineup players back. And tonight, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard with back-to-back first-inning homers against left-hander Randy Wolf. And then the Phillies, later in the same game, down by 3 in the 9th inning, scored 4 runs in the 9th against Francisco Rodriguez and won the game.
Wow.
Jimmy Rollins got the whole thing started, the guy who hails from the Bay Area, who beat the Giants yesterday in the 12th inning with a base hit. And now it's 3-1 to Yonder Alonso. Ryan Howard, Carlos Ruiz knocked in runs, and then Ty Wigginton hit a sacrifice fly to knock in the winner. There's been a lot of talk that the Brewers have decided to start trading some of their veteran players for younger talent. Going back into the corner, Melky on the warning track.
Wow. Alonso showing pretty good power that way. I mean, that ball had some carry on it. That took Cabrera halfway into the warning track.
The flag's out in right center field. As we take a look at it.
I mean, that's good carry right there. We don't normally see left-handers that get that kind of carry to left field.
But the flags out in right center field indicate that that was not the way the wind was blowing. Although it's switching around again. But right after the play, the flags were blown across toward McCovey Cove in that part of the ballpark. Will Venable. That's a foul. So quickly, Vogelsong's ahead of him 0-2, and Vogelsong has not been ahead of many hitters. He's had a lot of 2-ball, 1-strike, 3-ball, 1-strike counts so far. 0-2 now to Venable. Venable hitting .247. Grandal on at first. That high fastball taken. 1-2. Everett Cabrera is on deck. And we know he's very fast because he did something against the Dodgers recently that was rather astonishing. Theriot the second, and the low throw, and Brandon Crawford missed it. Well, here's the smart play brought to you by Lincoln and the new MKS. Now it gets interesting. And here's the play with Kenley Jansen with a 1-run lead on the mound in the 9th inning. 2 down. And he scored. The umpire called him out. And with the ball at the backstop, another run scored, and the Padres suddenly were ahead.
Amazing. They say whenever Cabrera got over to third base, he was talking to Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, and he told him, "I'm going to steal home." And Hoffman says, "Don't you dare. You stay here. You're not going anywhere."
Diving is Pablo. And Vogelsong covers.
It's a good play. Not an easy one. A lot of people ask me about what type of first baseman Sandoval would be if indeed he got a chance to play. Well, here's your answer. I mean, you can play third base, you can play first base. And a nice underhand flip, chest high to Vogelsong, an easy pitch to, an easy throw to handle.
Well, he's played there before, but never a whole lot. And the big curve, Clayton Richard, for the count of 0-1.
The Giants lead the National League in errors. They've made 75 errors. But, you know, it isn't much of an issue when you have a staff that can pitch through them, which is what Vogelsong is trying to do now. And for the most part, the Giants staff takes it as a challenge. They feel that it's a way that they can pick up their teammates, and they have done a very, very consistently good job of doing it.
Terry got charged with an error with that backhanded flip to Crawford, although I'm not sure why Crawford didn't manage to pick up the ball. Richard is down on strikes, and in spite of the error, Vogelsong gets through it. Top of the order coming up.
At one today to begin your adventure in a Jeep Wrangler, Patriot, Compass, Liberty, and Grand Cherokee, or visit Jeep.com to learn more.
From AT&T Park in downtown San Francisco, the Giants leading 4-0 over the Padres as we start the last half of the second inning. Nate Scherholtz batting for the second time yesterday. A big day for Nate.
Well, a 2-home run day, and he came about 15 feet away from hitting the third one. There's the second one, and that looked like a changeup, John.
That's what they thought it was a changeup, and he thought maybe this one was a changeup too. The next one that you're talking about, on which he almost hit a third home run. I said to Nate, "Do you like hitting in that Philadelphia ballpark?" He says, "Well, who wouldn't like hitting in that ballpark?" I love that ballpark.
Yeah, that's a good place if you're a hitter.
Ball one to Nate. He grounded out his first time. Right back to Richard, who runs halfway to first before flipping the ball to Alonso. One away. Giants ahead 4-0 here in the second. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, now 1.5 games back of the Giants in the West, are playing in St. Louis, and they have a 5-1 lead. Clayton Kershaw started that game against the Cardinals, and that's not an easy place to go in and pitch well when the Cardinals are healthy, because even without Albert Pujols, they are loaded with offense, and they're having several guys are having major years. But Kershaw shut him down. 5-1 Dodgers in the last of the 8th inning. Belisario is in out of the bullpen now.
You know, there's 3 organizations I always figure they're going to be good no matter what. I don't care what happens in the offseason, how many players they lose. I always figure when season comes around, they're going to be good. St. Louis, Los Angeles, and Oakland.
Well, the Cardinals, and I think a lot of people, the conventional wisdom was, hey, they lost Albert Pujols, their best hitter. But signing Carlos Beltran helped fill that hole very nicely. In fact, as we're speaking, Beltran just hit a home run against Belisario, and that's his 22nd home run this year. Now it's 5-3 LA. 3-2 to Terrio. Terrio hit a double down the right field line. That started the 4-run first inning rally for the Giants. There is Cabrera on deck.
Clayton Richard really having a hard time with his release point right now. It's coming across his body, and he's all over the place.
Through the hole, base hit. Terrio 2 for 2. And now Melky will come up. Melky got an infield hit on a very close play at first. It turned out to be a very big play in that 4-run first inning rally. Melky eventually scored the 2nd run for the Giants in the inning. He just barely beat the play at first base on a bouncer over the mound that was gloved behind second by Forsythe, the second baseman. 1 ball and no strikes. Melky 6 for 16 now against Clayton Richard, a .375 career average against him. There was a time, go back a couple of years, Giants just could not touch Clayton Richard. There's one. Back to first. Double play. And
3 outs.
The Padres don't seem to realize it, but the inning is over. We're going to the 3rd, top of the order coming up against Vogelsong.
And Friday, July 27th is Orange Friday at 7:15 start. Our sellout crowds have become the Giants' 10th man. So what do you say we turn the ballpark orange? Get your orange on. Go to sfgiants.com. Get your tickets. Game time changed in this homestand is Saturday the 28th. Second game of this Dodger series has been changed from a 6:05 game to a 1:05 start time. So mark it down.
Amarista hits a foul off the left field line, just back into the crowd. Strike 1. Amarista grounded out to second his first time. By the way, in that game in St. Louis we were talking about, It was not Kershaw who started for the Dodgers, but rather Chad Billingsley. Billingsley, who had been on the disabled list. And he pitched well. 6 innings, only 1 run allowed against the Cardinals. And another foul by Amarista. 0-2 the count. Amarista grounded out to second his first time. Logan Forsythe on deck. And fans have a souvenir.
Nice play. An Aggie from UC Davis. Sitting in good company.
And Vogelsong handles it himself. And that was fortunate, because if it had gotten over his head, they might have had a hard time throwing out the speedy Amarista.
Amarista's a good looking player. He was the guy who was the main guy in the deal that sent Ferrari, the relief pitcher, who's now the closer with the Angels. So both teams benefiting with that trade. Ernesto Ferrari.
Ferrari has became the closer for the Angels, and I think he's only been scored upon in 1 game. He has an ERA below 1 over in the American League West. Ball 1 to Logan Forsythe. He struck out his first time. 4-0 Giants. 3rd inning. In fact, Ernesto Ferrari is his name. In fact, I think the Padres had to answer some questions with the people in San Diego. Wait a minute. You were using this guy not as a closer, not in the 8th inning, not as a setup man, and you trade him, and now he's a closer in the American League for a contending team. How is that? I don't remember hearing any of the answers.
Well, I mean, the Padres don't really have to do much explaining with their bullpen. They got other guys who are doing the job.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I guess it just really shows you the depth of talent they've had and do have in that bullpen. Because their bullpen's a major strength right now.
And they're hot. That bullpen is lights out right now.
2-2 to Forsythe. Padres have 1 hit so far against Vogelsong. 1 out, nobody on. Look out. He hit him.
Trying to go in on the hands inside. So a 1-out mistake here, and it puts Vogelsong in the stretch.
Chase Headley, the big hitters are coming up. Headley, then Katze, Grandal, Alonso. Headley walked his first time. Along the left field line, foul. And all their left-handed hitters have that approach right now against Vogelsong. They're taking that ball down the left field line like that.
Yeah, I think that's the approach you have to have with a pitcher. And a guy like Kane and Vogelsong that can use that fastball so well, and they have a good changeup. You have to take what they give you. You can't go up there with the idea you're going to try and pull this guy. You have to take what he gives you, and that's pretty much what the Padres have been doing. They've been thinking opposite way. You think hard stuff away, and if you speed your bat up and throw something soft, that's the pitch you pull.
The curveball for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, you talk about the first base position. That's always been a pretty social position. I know a few years ago, remember Cincinnati had Sean Casey, who the league referred to as the mayor because he was so friendly over there. Pablo Sandoval is a pretty social guy. You get runners over there.
Strike 3 call.
Doesn't look like Chase Headley's buying any of it. Definitely a pitcher strike.
So a little break back toward the plate. That seemed to get him the call.
Well, it gets him right between the knees, too. The way that ball was caught by Posey, the way he sticks that location. But Vogelsong is a dart thrower, and he can throw high-velocity darts on both sides of the plate with consistency, and he has a reputation for strikes, and I think umpires hunt for him.
Now Mark Katze, the cleanup hitter. Back to the bag at first is Forsythe.
But I think Pablo is going to make some friends over there at first base if he gets any consistent playing time over there.
Or he may have some guys go over there and put earmuffs in or something. Because he is very, very chatty. There goes Forsythe. Posey's throw. The tag! Out! The inning is over. Buster Posey coming up.
He's
threw out Logan Forsythe. The perfect throw to end the Padres half of the third. Now he leads off the Giants half. Buster knocked in the Giants' first run with a single into left field. And he had fallen behind in the count 0-2 when he got that base hit. He just snuck it through the left side of the infield. So he's 1 for 1, hitting .314 this season. Got the low strike for Clayton Richard that time, and it's 0-2 again. Buster has 19 hits in his last 38 at bats in these last 11 games. .500 batting average. 1-2.
I like the pitch there from Richard. He just got the low strike. He went down below the zone, bounced one. A lot of guys will cover it once they figure that there's been a strike that they shouldn't have been called on because it was low. They'll chase anything low. That was a good pitch, 0-2.
Back to the screen. By the way, Buster with that RBI in the first inning. We mentioned how hot he's been, hitting .500 the last 11 games. In those 11 games, he's knocked in 14. Another foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pablo Sandoval on deck. Angel Pagan due up third in the inning.
Well, it says 2 things. 1, your cleanup hitter's hot. And number 2, you're getting people on in front of them. Good combination.
Off the inside.
Richard's starting to get a better release. He's starting to get command of the zone now.
Base hit left center. Posey will hold with a single as Amarista got to it quickly.
Let's take a look at our Ford right choice for high quality and fuel efficiency. 4 is the right choice for California. Schedule a test drive today. 2 seconds flat. That's how long it took from the time he got it to the time that Brandon Crawford got it. Where the Giants really made up some distance. 1.14 second release time from Vogelsong to Posey. You add it all up, 3.14 second, and Logan Forsythe is history. And that's our Ford right choice.
Pablo walked his first time. This is a double play ball. Headley. Here's 1. Forsythe. 2. Double play. Second inning in a row the Giants have grounded into a pair.
Well, that's not unusual for Clayton Richard. He's a ground ball guy. You don't see that many left-handers that are consistent ground ball getters. He's one of them.
So 2 down and nobody on. And Pagan, strike 1. Pagan walked, forcing in a run, drew a bases loaded walk in the first inning. The Giants got their last 3 runs in that inning after 2 were down. 1 ball and 1 strike down. Last of the 9th in St. Louis, Kenley Jansen is in to pitch for the Dodgers with a 5-3 lead there. Giants ahead 4-0 here, 3rd inning. Headley. And we're heading on to the 4th inning now. Mark Kotsay will be coming up. Where we take an in-depth look at some of the Giants stars of tomorrow. Yesterday, the Richmond Flying Squirrels, the Giants AA affiliate, down 3-1 in the last of the 9th inning. Tommy Joseph, the young catcher, hit a 2-run homer to tie. Then Mark Minicozzi, the next hitter, launched one, and that was the game. A walk-off homer from Minicozzi. Joseph, a 2nd-round draft choice in 2009. Minicozzi, who's been around a while, 17th round draft choice back in 2005. Get the best in TV, internet, and voice with Xfinity, only from Comcast. Vogelsong with strike 1 to Mark Kotsay. Kotsay getting an extra long look at Vogelsong. He was up there when Forsythe got thrown out to end the 3rd inning. So he's got a little more knowledge than he had. And it's still the same at bat.
Well, it does help you. The more pitches you see off a guy, the more you can anticipate. Look for a 1-pitch advantage. Look for one location, one side of the plate, one speed.
Off the leg of Vogelsong. He covers first, but it's going to be too late. A hit for Kotsay.
Kotsay in the 1st inning with 2 outs and 3 runs already on the scoreboard. Comes up with a short hop and initially was called a catch by Dana DeMuth, the crew chief and 3rd base umpire tonight. It was contested by the Giants. The umpires huddled up and they said nope. It was a base hit, and when Kotsay was running off the field, he looked over to the Giants bench and he started laughing.
And that was just the last moment of the discussion, but it was almost as if Doug Eddings was the guy that maybe thought he was sure that that ball had bounced in front of the glove. DeMuth had made a signal to Tim Flannery that it had bounced in the glove and the fingertips of the glove and up into the pocket. Ball 1 to Yasmani Grandal. Grandal singled his first time. 2 hits now for the Padres against Vogelsong. And another thing to take into account when the umpires get together like that, that kind of a call, they're not looking at a video. They're just one of the other umpires is just absolutely certain that the ball bounced. That's the reason they get together in the first place. 2-1 the count to Grandal. The only time they can look at a video replay is on what they call a boundary call. Whether or not a ball is a home run. Did a fan interfere with it? Did it hit the top of the wall and not go over the wall? That sort of thing. That's fair down the right field line. Stopping at third is Katze. A double for Grandal. And the Padres are in business here in the fourth inning.
That's 2 hits now for Grandal. He really spinned on that fastball challenge. We saw him pitching for the ground ball. I mean, he got the ground ball. It just got past Pablo Sandoval, who really didn't have much time to go back to his left. Ball was hit well. Nice at bat.
Pablo may wish that he just saved himself the trouble and just stayed on the bag the whole time. When the guy is holding a runner on like that, he's basically at the bag, and then as soon as the pitch is thrown, and in other words, not a throw to first, then he comes off a little bit to be closer to his normal defensive position. But that one went right past the bag. Right center field. Sherholtz. He hit the strong arm. Offline, and just in there is Katze for the first Padre run. Grandal holding at second. Man, if Nate had put that one right on the plate, I think he would have gotten him.
He's just a little bit off balance as he got to the ball. Had to kind of come back across his body a bit, but you can see a one hopper just up the line on first base. And you're right, had it been a little more accurate, they may have had a chance. You never bet against Nate's arm, and he's got one of the more accurate strong arms in the game.
Pablo made a good effort of going up to try and cut it off. Grandal did not advance. He advances now on the ground out by Venable. Venable going on one pitch, 2 down in the inning. But that's a big play. Grandal probably would have just scored on that ground ball had he been able to move up on Nate's throw in the first place. So here is Everth Cabrera. Cabrera stole home against the Dodgers. That was a play. That was one for the ages.
I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, the Dodgers had their closer in. They're up by a run. It's 2 outs. I mean, who's got the guts at third base to try and steal on a pitcher when he's on the mound? I mean, that in itself was amazing. And then the error, and they get their back runner from second to score, and they win the game.
At the very least, you steal home while the pitcher's in his motion of throwing the pitch, or some part of a double steal, a trick play, things like that. But he had apparently seen throughout that inning, because it was a long inning. He was at third base for a long while.
Well, that was the night when there was a strike 3, the last out of a ball game here in San Francisco. Hector Sanchez caught a one hopper, spit away from him. He went over to the left side of the infield, got the ball, tried to throw to first base, slipped and threw the ball away, and the Giants lose a lead.
And then a moment later, there's Everth Cabrera stealing home.
So, I mean, if you don't think that these two organizations, the Dodgers and the Giants, aren't joined at the hip, something's wrong with you.
Because it was the play here was one that you had never seen before. And then one even more bizarre there moments later. 2-2 now to Everth Cabrera. The pitcher, Clayton Richard, is on deck.
That's why I think this September is going to be one of the wildest Septembers in the history of baseball because of the additional playoff spot, the second wild card in both leagues. It's going to be incredible what happens the last week of the season.
Well, always in the past, if you had a big showdown right at the end, but both teams were already in other words, you had the division champion and the wild card team, and yet you didn't know which was which. Well, they blew off that final game. Strike 3 called. We'll talk about that a little bit more, how the second wild card changes that.
tribute night right here at AT&T Park, and your special event package will include a ticket to the Monday night game against the Nationals and a Frank Sinatra Giants bobblehead. Again, the bobblehead is only available to those purchasing this special ticket. So if you want a ticket, go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Joaquin Arias takes a called strike after bluffing the bunt.
Giants clubhouse manager Mike Murphy is really looking forward to that Frank Sinatra tribute night. And Mike Murphy has been telling us stories for years about how big of a Giants fan Frank Sinatra was.
Frank Sinatra, close personal friend of Tommy Lasorda.
Yep, the same guy.
Tommy Lasorda, who had 40 autographed pictures of Frank Sinatra all over the walls in his Dodger Stadium office.
In Mike Murphy's words, old blue eyes bled orange.
Into center and caught by Amarista with a slide. So Arias, who got credit for an RBI on an infield out, a would-be double play ball back in the first inning. Lines out. He's 0 for 2 with a run batted in for the night, and the batter will be Brandon Crawford. Crawford went from saying, wait a minute, that ball bounced. How can he possibly call me out on that one? To then later on being given credit for an RBI single. It was one of the longest periods from hitting the ball to finding out you actually got a hit we've ever seen. But I give the umpires credit for just wanting to get it right. The guy who makes the call originally, I'm sure he's not happy to see it get overturned by one of his fellows out there.
Well, that used to be an issue. You never saw it. I mean, that's one thing I applaud this generation of umpire for, is that they will swallow some pride. They will huddle up in the infield, and they will get it right. Dana DeMuth, good umpire for a long time. Crew chief. Doug Eddings, and there's the kid, Jordan Baker. We'll see him tomorrow behind the plate. Goes to first base. I'm looking forward to that. Jordan Baker, 6'8". He has to have his high strike zone.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. The Giants will have Madison Bumgarner going against Edinson Volquez. And that's all for Brandon Crawford. Well, the Giants did well to jump on Richard while he was vulnerable in that first inning. And you pointed it out, Mike, that a lot of times as a big, tall guy himself, what is he, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'5".
He is most vulnerable in that first inning. And the Giants got through to him for 4. Because he has started to settle in.
And you can see how he's gained command of the strike zone. And a lot of ground balls coming off the Giants' bats now.
Ryan Vogelsong fouls one away. Vogelsong struck out his first time. Vogelsong's had 32 official at bats this year and has struck out 25 times.
That's hard to explain because he's been a good hitter up until this year.
Put that one in play. And Everett Cabrera throws him out. Quick, quiet. 5th inning. Clayton Richard will be coming up against Vogelsong. You by Dodge. Cleveland beat the Baltimore Orioles 3-1 in Cleveland. Back of Justin Masterson. The White Sox 7-4 over Minnesota to snap a losing streak. In that game, Adam Dunn hit his 29th homer. Konerko number 15. Rios number 15. And elsewhere, Texas blasted the Red Sox 9-1. Back of former College of San Mateo right-hander Scott Feldman. Saltalamacchia homered for the Red Sox only run. Napoli hit a home run for the Rangers. Kansas City 2, the Angels 2 down south. And up north in Seattle 3-1. The Yankees leading the Mariners. Ichiro is 1 for 2 for the Yankees with a steal. Ichiro traded by the Mariners to the Yankees. Apparently the story is Clayton Richard has taken a strike here to lead off the 5th inning. Facing Ryan Vogelsong. The Giants ahead 4-1. Richard struck out his first time. Ichiro said he gave it a lot of thought during the All-Star break and said, you know, almost every player on this team is in their 20s, a lot of them in their early 20s. I'm too old to be on this team. I'm not part of what these guys are trying to build toward. And he actually went to the Mariners and asked if they would trade him. And that one is too high, 1-2. So the Yankees said, yes, we want him. And they're batting him 8th. The perennial leadoff man. For a while, he hit 3rd this year. Sometimes he's batted 2nd. Yankees have him batting 8th.
But that's the first time in his life he's hit 8th. Look out. Dave Roberts over there, first base coach, playing a little dodgeball. It's hard to hit. Roberts.
Well, Ichiro, he came out of the Japanese leagues. He's already a huge star over there. DJ Mitchell, Danny Farquhar. Is that how you think that's how he says it?
I'm going with Farquhar.
1-2 the count. And it's 2-2 to Richard. Well, I hope we got that right.
Hey, if we didn't, there's going to be a lot of ticked off Farquhars walking around. That is not going to be good.
Sounded like a line from a Steve Martin movie. That's it for Richard, and 1 away. That's the 5th strikeout for Vogelsong, and they will duly note that. Somebody asked me when they put the K's up out there, some of them are orange and some of them are white. I think it's just every 3. Every 3rd one is in orange, so it helps you. You don't have to just sit there 1, 2, 3, 4. You said, oh, there's 3 and then 2 more, so 5. So just to try to make it easy for you, the fans. Here's a called strike to Alexi Amarista, the leadoff man.
I like this guy. He's a good-looking young player. You mentioned his size. I mean, he's only 5'7", but he's got some pop. He really reminds me of Joe Morgan.
Up the middle. Base hit. Terrio made a valiant effort. It wouldn't have mattered, I don't think, even if Terrio had gotten that ball. Amarista was going to be safe at first. So Amarista is aboard for the first time, and here is Logan Forsythe coming up. 4-1, the Giants are leading. We're in the 5th. Only 4 days until the Olympics.
I love the Olympics. I look forward to this, and everybody in the Giants clubhouse is getting into it as well. Anticipation. Hope the United States team does well. A lot of great stories come out of the Olympics every 4 years.
And that's a changeup in for a strike. 0-1 to Forsythe, who has struck out and been hit by a pitch. By the way, Raj Mathai, the news anchor at NBC Bay Area News, sometimes he's with us on our Giants telecasts on NBC Bay Area and the Giants Network. Amarista running. Posey's throw offline. And then Terrio tried to deke Amarista into thinking that ball had sailed into center field. Amarista seemed to know, though.
Let's watch the deke. Here's a veteran second baseman. It's worth it. Try it.
Amarista a little slow in getting up, and I think the Padres are concerned about him.
He may have jammed his hand into the bag.
He's wearing
he's grabbing his thumb.
He's wearing some sort of a brace over that as it is.
It wasn't anything that had to do with Terrio, but as you see him hit the bag right there, his thumb comes up and he popped it. The old timers would not slide headfirst in second base for this reason. I mean, back then, players played, and they were afraid of going in that trainer's room. They did not want to miss time due to an injury, and one of the ways they protected themselves was sliding foot first into bags. They didn't slide head first. It's definitely something you see every day as you look at highlights around baseball. Guys are sliding head first, even in collision plays.
There are some people who believe that Jose Bautista, the big slugger with the Blue Jays, remember he took a swing and came up holding his left wrist. But his previous plate appearance, he'd been on base and he scored a run with a head first slide at home, and his left hand clipped the shoe of the catcher. And I think a lot of people thought that really was the genesis of the injury that he sustained, and he's on the disabled list now. But I remember Campy Campaneris, when he played in Oakland across the bay from here years ago, he would slide head first back to first on pickoff throws. He would slide in feet first back to the bag. Everybody else goes in head first, and did then, but Campy went feet first just on a pickoff throw. And he was one of the best base dealers in the game at that time. I think Ricky Henderson kind of changed the whole head first diving into second.
Pete Rose, Ricky Henderson, they were the head first slide guys. But you do expose your hands to injuries.
1-2 to Forsythe. Well, it looked like Vogelsong was merely bluffing, but he might have had him picked off if he was not just bluffing.
Well, you're right. When he turns, if he throws, if he has a little thought there, a little crow hop, if he comes up gunning, they may have had a shot at him.
That one is hit well along the right field line. Nate gets there. Nice play by Nate Sherholtz. And Amarista, who is halfway to third, has to go back to second.
Because of where right fielders set up in this ballpark, you never really take a ball that's caught towards the line of right field for granted, because they have to go a long way to get there. Let's see just how far Nate Sherholtz had to come over. And he kind of cradled it. He didn't sweet spot it. That ball had a little rattle in his glove. Watch this thing snow cone out. Whoa, mama. Nice play.
You get back to bed.
Get in there.
Chase Headley. 1 ball and no strikes. Headley has walked and struck out looking.
We talk about this guy. The bigger the at bat, the better at bat he gives you. And this is like one of those at bats. Down 3 runs, 2 outs. They know how important that runner is at second base. This is where he really toughens up.
2-0.
Watch the runner. He's going halfway. And once the ball is caught, he doesn't have time to get back. Probably, if that ball's dropped, he could score. That's why he goes halfway. He wasn't thinking about just taking third. Had there been no out on that fly ball, he would have gone back to the bag and tagged. With 1 out, he goes halfway.
Yeah, he has to score if it's not caught. Four to 1 Giants. The Giants had 4 in the first. Padres got 1 back in the fourth. They have a runner in scoring position here, and caught by Terrio. Amarista stranded. Top of the order, Nate Sherholtz coming up. Cubs ended the Pirates' 5-game winning streak. Back of Jeff Samardzija and Carlos Marmol. Soriano had a big day. The Miami Marlins, who made a big trade today with the Tigers, nonetheless beat Atlanta 2-1. The Braves have lost 3 in a row. Josh Johnson got the win. The Phillies with a 4-run ninth came from behind to beat Milwaukee. Howard and Utley had home runs in succession in the first inning of that game, as Nate Scherholtz takes a called strike. Also, Washington in 10 innings beat the Mets 8-2. Bryce Harper a home run. Nationals now with a 4.5 game lead in the National League East. Cincinnati over Houston. The Reds are on a roll. Arizona leading Colorado 5-1 last of the 7th in the desert. The Dodgers beat the Cardinals 5-3. Billingsley got the win. 0-2 to Nate Scherholtz. Nate has grounded out to first and grounded back to the pitcher. The Padres have reworked their outfield a little bit now, with Amarista out with an injury. One ball and 2 strikes. The Padres have brought Jesus Guzman into the game in left field, and Will Venable has moved over to center field from right field, and Kotze has moved from left field to right field. Nate Scherholtz down on strikes, 1 away. Three strikeouts now for Richard. Here is Ryan Theriot, who has doubled, and that was the beginning of a 4-run first inning rally. He's also singled. One ball, no strikes. Cabrera on deck. Base hit.
Well, he really has used the whole field tonight.
He's 3 for 3.
You know, he doesn't have a lot of swing. Very compact load. There's just not a lot of wasted movement in his approach to the ball. Watch the compact swing as he gets his hands cocked. There's just very little movement. Once that front foot goes down, he's in perfect position to defend, and he'll go where the pitch is located.
Melky got an infield hit his first time, and then he hit a double play ball his second time. He is 1 for 2. Hitting .357. He's got the second best batting average in the National League. Theriot steals it easily. That throw from Grandal was a little bit off the mark.
And he just eats left-handers up. He studies them so well. He knows exactly when they're going home. He knows exactly when they're coming to first. Not a fast guy, but a smart base runner who has a quick start. He steals bases with his brains.
11 steals. Check swing by Melky. Did he swing? No, says Jordan Baker, the first base umpire. 2-1 the count to Melky. He has 49 RBIs this year. Base hit could be number 50 right here. And that's a base hit. Theriot held on to make sure that it went through. The ball hit it in front of him like it was. So he'll stop at third. Melky Cabrera, another 2-hit game. That's the 45th time this year that Melky has had at least 2 hits in a game. So just about half of the games he's played this year, he's had 2 hits or more in those games.
Well, really, I mean, as a base runner, you have to stop and make sure that ball gets into the outfield. So because of that, Theriot does not get a great jump. I mean, Guzman doesn't have that great of an arm, and normally, had he been able to get off at the crack of the bat and not having to hesitate, he probably would have been waved home by Flannery. But once he had a stop to make sure the ball got to the outfield, no chance to score him. And really, with Buster Posey coming up, you're going to err on the side of conservative if you're Tim Flannery, and he did.
Ryan Vogelsong looking on from the Giants dugout as the Padres bullpen is now busy. Brad Brock, a right-hander, starts to warm up. Buster's 2 for 2 in this game and now has 20 hits in his last 39 at bats. He's hot and he's getting hotter. Deep to right field. Way back there. Goodbye! Home run, Buster Posey. 7-1 Giants, and he took aim at the short porch out there, and it's one of the few times we've made it seem like it is a short porch.
34 times in AT&T Park history since they opened their doors in 2000, a right-hander has gone and hit a home run to right field. Fastball, and really not a hanger either. It was out there mid-thigh on the outside corner. And Posey, who backspins it right out of here. And you talk about a guy with a heavy bat head. That ball jumped off of his wood. And that is the hit that gains separation. And that's what they've been looking for.
That gives Buster 60 RBIs for the year, 4 in this game, and he now has 17 RBIs in the last 11 games, 21 hits in 40 at bats. And there's the number, 34th right-handed hitter to homer to the opposite field in this ballpark. Pablo deep into center, way back there, now squaring up in front of the wall, jumping. Venables got it.
Take a look at the carry and the way this ball is backspinned for the distance it gets over the wall in right field. From our splash camera, boy, this is just absolutely pure. You know, you try and talk about hitting a ball off your right hip as you start to throw your backside into the ball, and everything is timed so perfectly to the bat head, and he catches the bottom half of the ball. Beautiful hitting.
Out of play off the bat of Angel Pagan. 0-1. Posey's 13th home run.
You take that swing right there, and you can send that clip to every big league or professional or really any amateur hitting coach, and you replay that time and time and time again, and that just basically tells you how to do it. You cannot execute a swing any more perfect than that.
On the Giants road trip, the 6 games, 3 in Atlanta, 3 in Philadelphia, Buster had 8 RBIs. So now in the last 7 games, he's driven in 12 runs. Right center field. Kotze into the big gap. And Pagan is retired. But the Giants score 4 times. Or rather 3 times, all on Buster Posey's home run, added to their earlier 4-run inning, and they lead 7-1.
The box. Love bacon? Then try the new BLT cheeseburger combo right now at Jack in the Box for just $4.99 plus tax.
And from outside, and now inside here at AT&T Park. And a curveball from Vogelsong to Katse. 0-1 the count. Buster Posey, an RBI single in the first, another base hit in the third, and then a 3-run opposite field homer in the fifth. And Buster is having quite the night again for about the fifth time this week.
He is on fire. It's fun to watch.
I'm enjoying it.
You know, when one of your big guys gets hot, it's fun to watch him take batting practice and look at all the other players, because they watch every swing that he takes and just hope that it rubs off.
One and two to Katse. Melky in pursuit. He's got it and then disappears. The fans catch him, put him back on the field. So Melky caught the ball. The fans caught him and then threw him back on the field.
I think this is a great place to play. It's like, all right, Melky, we got you covered here. Great play. We got you. But the smile on the face of Cabrera is what makes the play. All right, we got you.
The guy's got his Giants jersey on, and he got in the game.
The only thing that would been better if it would have been the milkman that caught him.
Here is Grandal. And the curveball too low. Grandal is a single and a double.
And he did. He braced the fall, so he did save him from a possible bump or two.
I was trying to figure out what number that guy had on his Giants jersey down there. He's got pretty good hands, it looks like to me.
Yeah, these guys, we got to give them a gamer button, no question.
Talking about helping the home team win.
We got you, Melky. Just left it right back out on the field. Oh. Yeah, I liked it in the dugout.
Another curveball for a strike. 2-2 to Grandal. Well, the guy in the front there, next to the guy in the uniform, he helped out as well. Strike three call on the outside corner.
He's taking inventory right now. He may have bumped his arm a bit. For the most part, he's walking out of there unscathed. And these guys are heroes. Let's go, fellas.
Now, they could have asked him for an autograph, right? Hey, or say, hey, Melky, let me shake your hand. Or, hey, can I have your shirt? Do you mind if I take your hat? How about can I have that baseball? No, they just said, Melky, get back out there in the field. They need you. Arias with the catch. Melky Cabrera heads back in. Nice play. grilled cheese bacon burger. A juicy charbroiled beef patty with 2 strips of bacon and melted Swiss and American cheese, all on a toasted sourdough bun. Only at Carl's Jr. Sorry, Micah, where were we?
I don't know. I'm thinking about burgers. You lost me.
Got dizzy there for a moment. Arias, the hitter, against the new Padres pitcher, Brad Brock. In relief of Clayton Richard. Richard went 5 innings, allowed 7 runs, 9 hits. And Brock, he's got a little bit of a unusual delivery.
Definitely got some funkiness to him. There you see his numbers in 35 games, 0-1 with a 3.82 ERA, but he's been hot. Look at over a strikeout an inning, 41 and 35 in the third. A low 90s fastball with a good hard slider. He's also got a split. You'll see more sliders to righties, more splits to lefties.
Tough to hit. Very tall. And that's all for Arias, who's now 0 for 3 with a run batted in. Brock is listed at 6 feet 6 inches tall. And here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford had an RBI single his first time, although it took not quite an act of Congress to get it for him, but originally it was called out number 3 of the first inning. The umpires gathered. They had committees that did an investigation and determined that it actually had bounced in front of the left fielder. RBI single. So Crawford, who then struck out his next time, is 1 for 2. Crawford hit 300 on the road trip and had 8 RBIs. 1 and 2.
Nice little backdoor slider right there. Yeah, he's swinging the bat well, and they're starting to fall for him. He had a lot of at bats his first half where he would hit the ball well, it would go right at somebody. It'd find a glove. So hard to maintain patience when you're a young hitter, especially when you're trying to prove your rap wrong.
That one is into the gap. Venable cuts it off, and that's the reason Crawford gets a double rather than going for a triple.
A 2-hit night for Brandon Crawford. The rap on him was that he was an all-glove, no-hit shortstop, and it just burns him up when he hears it. A little fastball challenge. They set the target away. It comes back middle in, and he jumps on it, finds the gap at right center. And he doesn't want to hear he's a 245 or a 250 hitter. He thinks he can hit 285 or more. So he's very quietly trying to prove everybody wrong. He's doing a good job of it.
Vogelsong has struck out and grounded out to short. 7-1, the Giants are leading. And they rule on the appeal that Crawford missed first base. The first base umpire, Jordan Baker, on the throw over. Well, Crawford is going to go over to talk to the umpire.
Let's take a look. Did he hit it? This should be a better look right here. Yeah, he hit it inside of his foot. Bad call. And that's a rough at bat. He just had a double taken away from you. It's not many times Bruce Bochy has to look up to an umpire.
So Crawford not only does not get the double, he doesn't even get a hit.
Yeah, it goes as a 1-3. Left foot goes down and hits the instep of his left foot. He slides his instep against the bag. And you can see it here. And you see the foot actually breaks away or just sort of moves away from the bag, so you know it made contact.
So no double, no hit at all for Brandon Crawford. Still with a 1-hit game.
Well, that's got to be a pretty weird feeling if you're a hitter.
So Forsythe throws out Vogelsong. Fans are not happy. For a 4-game series, their only visit here in 2012. David Wright and company. Next Monday, a 7:15 start. The first 30,000 fans receive a Giants orange rally towel, courtesy of the Melt. Also Tuesday and Wednesday, 7:15 starts, and the finale on Thursday, August 2nd, a 12:45 afternoon game. sfgiants.com. Get your tickets now to see the Giants and the Mets. That'll be the end of the homestand. 10 games in all, including those 4 with the Mets. Brandon Crawford, who had a hit taken away, and from what our replays showed, it should not have been. Here is Will Venable, and he takes a called strike from Ryan Vogelsong. Jordan Baker, the first base umpire, was sure that Crawford had missed the bag, but I guess he's a young umpire and it's a learning process for him as well. So perhaps having missed that one, he'll never miss another one like that.
Well, I wish it was that simple. Yeah, I mean, it came in a 6-run ball game with the Giants leading 7-1, so it would have been a different scenario had it been a tie ball game or a one-run game. But he's not happy about it, and I don't blame him.
1-2 the count to Venable, who is 0 for 2 in the game. Everett Cabrera on deck. And Vogelsong is off the outside. We're in the 7th inning. And Vogelsong's still in there.
Well, what's new? You know, we talked about how consistent he's been this year. In every one of his starts now, 18 times, he has gotten the ball into the 7th inning. And in his previous 17 starts, he has gotten the ball into the 8th inning in 13 of those times. So, I mean, that's the reputation you want to have as a starter. You want to be an innings eater, and he is that and more.
Three and two. He's so tenacious. It's not that the Padres haven't had any chances to score against him. They've had just the 1 run. But they've had chances to get more than that. But he, along with his fellow rotation mate, Matt Cain, seem to be even better when you put men out there on base. Nate Scherholtz in shallow right. One away.
Well, make getting ready for your day a little easier. Wake up with Today in the Bay on NBC Bay Area. Get the latest news, weather, and real-time traffic starting at 4:30 a.m. right here on NBC Bay Area.
What time?
Starting at 4:30 a.m. I'll call you.
One ball and no strikes to Everth Cabrera. The pitcher spot coming up next, and the Padres had their bullpen going. And Chris Denorfia, a would-be pinch hitter, is out on deck. Everth Cabrera has been kept off the bases. Pablo Sandoval robbed him of a hit with a diving snare of a ground ball headed for right field back in the second inning. And he struck out looking in the fourth. 3-0. Dodgers won their game earlier in St. Louis. The Dodgers are on a road trip. They've won 4 in a row on that road trip. It's a 4-pitch walk.
Well, in those cities that the Dodgers are playing are not easy cities to win on the road. Sweeping the Mets in New York. Now they're heading into St. Louis. They got 4 against the Cardinals.
Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Vogelsong as Denorfia is introduced as a pinch hitter for Brock. And the Giants are going to get the bullpen going. Clay Hensley will head down, a former Padre. And when you see a pitcher suddenly miss, especially up out of the strike zone, you do start to wonder, right, if he's fatigued, maybe starting to show.
Well, that's exactly why Righetti went out there. I mean, that is the age-old way of determining when a guy is starting to fade and lose it physically, is when he starts to elevate in the strike zone. And in that regard, Dave Righetti's an old schooler. He believes in that.
So here is Denorfia. .299 average. Pops it up. First ball swinging. Crawford. Out number 2. That was the 100th pitch thrown by Vogelsong, and Denorfia was only there for the one pitch. Now, Jesus Guzman will come up. Guzman, a former Giants minor leaguer, and he entered the game after Amarista. And what you thought it was maybe the thumb, that he was wearing a brace for that anyway when he stole second base in the 5th inning, and he did not go back to the outfield after that. And a foul back toward us. Just over our heads. Strike 1. A jammed left thumb, by the way, was the word from the Padres clubhouse in regards to Amarista. So Guzman, who had a very fine year last season, but hitting only .235 so far this year. Back to the bag is Cabrera. The Padres like to run. They have stolen more bases than any other team in the league. 86 steals for the Padres this year.
And Cabrera, I mean, he's 18 for 18. So on a team that likes to steal, he's the guy. He's the leader.
And that includes a steal of home while the pitcher was just standing on the mound holding the baseball.
We were his biggest fan that night.
By the way, the Miami Marlins are number 1. I double checked it. Then the Padres number 2. Posey unable to block that one, and over to second goes Cabrera. One ball, one strike to Guzman. The Giants ahead 7-1 here in the 7th inning. A 4-run first inning and then a 3-run 5th inning. Buster Posey knocked in the first of the 4 runs in the first, and then he knocked in all 3 in the 5th inning with an opposite field home run over the Willie Mays wall in right field. 7-1 Giants here in the 7th. Just a little bit low with the changeup. 2-1. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series, Madison Bumgarner against Edinson Volquez. Volquez pitched a shutout his last start.
I think it was a one-hitter.
And then a day game on Wednesday, Tim Lincecum and Jason Marquis. No swing. 3-1.
Oh, let's take a look from the side. Did he go? No.
Although the fans are predisposed to boo Jordan Baker.
Just to stay in shape.
3-1 the count. And it's a walk. Second walk of the inning. He had walked only one tonight until this inning. And now Forsythe will come up. Bochy and Righetti talking it over. Forsythe has struck out, been hit by a pitch, and lined out to right. Nate Sherholtz made a very nice catch. Going to the foul line back in the 5th inning. 2 on, 2 out. Vogelsong is having a hard time finding the strike zone here.
And you watch Vogelsong pitch, you're so used to seeing him throw a lot of fastballs. In this inning, a lot of curveballs, a lot of changeups, softballing. Cutter. He does not want to come out of this game in this inning. He wants to finish this inning. Regardless of what happens, it's probably going to be it for him this inning.
2-0 the count. 2 on, 2 out. Caught by Terrio. Seven strong in the books for Vogelsong. And 30. Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports. There's the 24 palm trees and 24 Willie Mays Plaza.
Oh yeah. Gamer babes having fun.
7-1. The Giants have had fun tonight. And Ryan Vogelsong, 7, 1 run, 4 hits allowed.
And once again gets his team to the 8th inning.
Stoltz in from the Padres bullpen. Nate Sherholtz takes ball 1. There's Eric Stoltz and his numbers for the year. Back out of play. Nate has grounded out twice and struck out. 0 for 3.
See the numbers for Stoltz.
And that's too high. Well, we've seen a lot of interesting things in this game tonight, including some excellent defense. Nate with an outstanding catch on a drive toward the right field corner back in the 5th inning. Broken back. It just plants itself in the infield. Nate is thrown out by the second baseman Forsythe, one away. And that bat with a jagged edge, fortunately, landed there and not toward any of the players. But we also saw a play that I don't remember seeing quite the way we saw it tonight, where Melky Cabrera made a leap to catch a foul fly and landed in the stands. You know how when a guy goes toward a dugout, especially if it's his own dugout, and players will help catch him if he's about to fall in? A fan caught Melky. And then they just picked him up with another fan. The two of them picked him up and tossed him back out on the field. Said, go get him, Melky. There they are. Terrio, who's had a 3-hit game, but it will still be 3 hits as Venable grabs it, and Melky will come up. And here's that play. In the 6th inning, Kotze hit one.
And lots of help to get Melky Cabrera back onto the field. Oh, yeah. And the smile from Cabrera said it all. Lit up the Giants' dugout. Yeah, I think he's having fun at the yard.
And we can see that there was even a third fan involved, getting him back on the field. But I have a feeling those guys have been in some dugouts before.
Yeah, they look like ball players to me.
1 ball, 1 strike to Melky Cabrera. He's had 2 hits tonight and 2 runs scored. That is going to go out of play off the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strike. Melky's average is at .358 for the year. Giants 2, 3, 4 hitters. Terrio, Melky, and Posey. 8 hits, 10 at bats, including a homer, a double, 4 RBI, 6 runs scored. That's the 3rd hit of the game for the Milkman.
And when a guy can do this to you, when you've completely taken his legs out of a swing, and he can still keep his hands back and take you the opposite way and beat you, there's not a lot you can do. There really isn't a lot you can do. You just have to hope that he hits it at somebody. What a remarkable testimony to balance. Watch the legs go, and now the reach. He hits that ball off his right hip. He still gets that ball deep and goes the opposite way. You can't get guys like that out consistently. I'm sorry.
Here's Buster Posey. The curveball from Stultz, ball 1. Buster singled home a run in the 1st. Led off the 3rd inning with a single, and then hit a 3-run homer over the Willie Mays wall in right field in the 5th. He's 3 for 3, 4 batted in, hitting .318 for the year. This will stay in the yard. Kotze, and Buster is retired for the first time. On to the 8th inning. Headley coming up.
in black. Check out pregame live and postgame live before and after every Giants telecast on Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports.
The Giants leading the Padres in game one of this series, game one of this 10-game homestand. 7-1 as we go to the 8th inning. 7 innings from Ryan Vogelsong, 1 run, 4 hits allowed, and now Clay Hensley in for the bullpen in relief.
And those are his numbers. 41st time he's come in for Bruce Bochy. 3-3 on the year, a 3.41 ERA. Really one of the funkiest at bats in the Giants bullpen. This guy is so unorthodox because of his high 3/4 over the top release, a 12-6 break on his curveball, nice changeup. Really can spot the fastball well. Spent a lot of time in a Padre uniform.
And 12-6, when you say 12-6, that's on sort of maybe an old-fashioned wristwatch or an old-fashioned analog clock you might have seen on the classroom wall.
True. If you're to take a ball and roll it off a table, that's the break of the curveball from Clay Hensley.
So it just goes straight down.
Straight downer. And back previous generations, they used to call that pitch a drop.
Wow, blew that fastball right by him at all of 88 miles an hour. I think a lot of hitters just think anything but that one is coming next from Hensley.
Well, I mean, he's such a funky guy to hit off of because he's got the unusual release. He's way high, and you don't see him early. So, yeah, it is 88 on the gun, but it sure doesn't look 88 when you're in the batter's box.
Kotsay 1 for 3, and he has scored the Padres' only run. Pablo's got it, playing first base tonight. Puts the stop sign out for Hensley. Says, no, Clay, I've got this one. Take a rest. No problem for me.
And he's played a good first base tonight.
He's moved well over there. He robbed a Padre of a base hit earlier. That was Everett Cabrera, very fast runner, back in the 2nd inning, and he robbed him when the Padres had runners at first and second and only 1 out. Might have saved a run or even more. One of the big plays of the early game for the Giants. A strike to Yasmani Grandal. Grandal has had a single and a double. Struck out his last time, 2 for 3. A ball and a strike. Dodgers won their game in St. Louis earlier. The Giants with a 1.5 lead over the Dodgers at the start of the day. But impressive what the Dodgers are doing on this road trip. First to New York, now to St. Louis. 4 in a row they've won. Terrio, that's all for Grandal. And a very strong inning for Hensley. Sandoval coming up. Bay Area perspective. Raj Mathai heads to London to bring you stories you won't see anywhere else. starting this Friday, July 27th, right here on NBC Bay Area.
Who are you rooting for?
In the Olympic?
Yeah.
I'm going for Team USA, Mike.
Nice going. Well said.
Hoping to hear that Star Spangled Banner several times, and I'm sure we will.
Oh yeah, there's a Panda fan. She likes the Panda.
The Olympic Games certainly in a great city, the historic city of London. Although they say that the local people, the people who actually live in London, they're not all that thrilled about it.
Really?
It's just a monumental headache for the people trying to get to work. Traffic is all snarled up. And it will be that way for a couple of weeks. There's ball one to Pablo Sandoval. Pablo has walked and scored a run, grounded into a double play, and flied out deep to center. Out of play. Change up there from Stouts. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7-1. The Giants on top. There's one of your people, Mike.
Gamer Babe. Where's she from? Half Moon Bay?
Must be. Pablo on the changeup. Base hit. Hits have been in short supply for Pablo lately. Only 5 hits and 25 at-bats on the road trip. That's his first hit tonight.
From Vienna, Austria. Now I'm impressed. Oh yeah. Well, welcome. We kept a seat here for you.
Now it's Brandon Belt in to run for Pablo. So Pablo with a little breather with the Giants ahead 7-1.
Gamer Babe's in Austria. That was fantastic.
Here is Angel Pagan. Change up low. Pagan has walked home a run. He drew a walk with the bases loaded in the first to get an RBI. Since then has grounded a third and flied out to right center. 0 for 2. 7-1 Giants in the 8th. Another changeup. 2 balls, no strikes.
It's really one of his best weapons against right-handed hitters. And really the way you beat it is the way that Pablo Sandoval did. Go the other way.
At the knees for a strike.
When you see him starting to stay flat at the knee-high location, I'm talking about Pablo Sandoval, and he's starting to use the opposite side of the field, he's getting ready to get hot. And that's what that at-bat represented.
This could be 2. Headley to second 1. Forsythe off the bag, and the tag applied by Alonso to double up Pagan. 2 down. That's the 3rd double play turned by the Padres infield in this game. Only the 4th time this year that Pagan has grounded into a double play. Here is Joaquin Arias. 7-1 Giants. A 4-run first, a 3-run 5th. Buster Posey, the first RBI in that 4-run first, and then all 3 runs knocked in the 5th on a home run. The only home run of the night. Solid single to right for Arias. So it looked to me like Kotze wanted to pick it up quickly and make a throw to first.
Oh, he definitely would do that too. He's got a good arm. He's always had one of the really good assist arms in Major League Baseball. But another opposite field approach executed perfectly by the Giants.
First hit of the game for Arias. He's 1 for 4. Brandon Crawford thought he had a 2-hit game, but it's still only a 1-hit game. He got called out for missing first base. That curveball. And Alonso takes it himself. So we are going to the 9th. George Contos will come in from the Giants bullpen. the ninth inning, or we're about to head into the ninth inning. Brandon Crawford, when he grounded out to end the Giants' eighth inning, stepped on first very emphatically for the benefit of that man, Jordan Baker. Then he may have said something to Baker. You're gone. And Baker tossed him out of the game. And of course, that all had to do with Brandon Crawford being called out on appeal for missing first base back in the sixth, although our replays showed that he did not miss first base.
Well, a rough night for the young umpire. Right now, George Contos coming in for the 14th time this year. And look at the strikeouts. 19 in 16 innings against 2 walks. A good low 90s fastball with a slider, which was, we found out, it is very similar to that of Sergio Romo in one regard, in that it doesn't have normal slider spin. You see the defensive alignment. Manuel Burris comes into third. Arias goes over to short.
Alonso, shallow left field, is Melky Cabrera. One away. Alonso is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly, knocked in the Padres' only run. Brandon Belt now at first for the Giants, as he had come in as a pinch runner for Sandoval, and Burris is now at third with Arias moving from third over to short. Will Venable 0 for 3. There's that slider. Beauty. Knee high on the outside.
And because he doesn't have that little red eye that you normally see on a slider, he's got a no-dot slider. And those are rare. That has always been the #1 weapon of Sergio Romo. But it also explains the strikeout total that Contos has up here.
Two balls, one strike. Tomorrow, the Giants and the Padres, game 2 of the series, back on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area, with Madison Bumgarner on the mound. Hit very hard, knocked down by Terrio, and he throws out Venable. Terrio got the glove on that ground ball. He may have got the sternum on it.
He'll take a bruise for an out, no problem.
There is Everth Cabrera. So George Contos, acquired from the Yankees right at the end of spring training for catcher Chris Stewart. Strike on the outside. Everth Cabrera 0 for 2 with a walk.
And George Contos was a little tentative at first as he was finding his confidence, but he is really climbing up that bullpen ladder fast. Getting a lot of serious looks from his bullpen mates, from his coaches, his manager, his general manager. And not necessarily in that order.
Out of play. Strike 2. Well, there are a lot of rumors that the Giants may be looking for some more bullpen help in the trade market as well. A couple of big trades were made in baseball today. That slider chopped to Terrio. And the Giants make it 8 wins in their last 10 since the All-Star break. They win the first game of this series and of this 10-game homestand. And they beat the Padres 7-1. Back of Ryan Vogelsong, who pitched another beauty.
Really, another great formula of winning. The Giants getting Vogelsong 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning. And he came out smoking, found his rhythm early and made it stand.
7-1 Giants. Buster Posey remains red hot. 3 more hits, 4 more RBIs. Melky Cabrera had 3 more hits. We'll be back with more from AT&T Park.